drag his kid across the railroad tracks this time. Really? No, instead we have a mother.
The lumber's all going to Woodhaven down in Lakewood.
Oh, it's going to Lakewood? Oh, hey. I already caught it. That's a moron for you. That's right. Cross the tracks, the train's coming. I have a...
You want to know what's on this?
I got a maintenance. I was just on 2020. What an idiot! Oh, what an idiot!
And look at the scene, all caught on camera. A viewer sent us this video out of Plant City showing the moments after an Amtrak train and a semi-truck collided. Look at it here. Alan Smith sent us these images of the crash at US 92 and County Line Road. Authorities say semi was split in half by the impact. And you can see what looks like spilled boxes of fruit all over the road here. No injuries to report. US 92 still closed tonight. No word when it will reopen. Polk County Sheriff's Office is now investigating.
We're going to turn now to another danger on America's roadways, and we've all come to one of those train crossings with those flashing lights, those warnings. But what happens when those warnings are obscured or not working? It can turn deadly, even if you're trying to see for yourself if that train is coming. Deborah Roberts tonight at one train crossing that will have us all thinking about the next time we cross the tracks.
Admit it. You probably thought about it, maybe even done it. Despite the clanging bells and those gates intended as barriers, an inner speed demon can take over. Rushing, scrambling, dodging, all with one reckless idea: beating the oncoming train.
Most common thing I see that they hesitate, they don't want to wait, they go around the gates.
Alan Smith has seen it all. A fanatic for trains, he posts some of those daredevils on his YouTube site, Millennium Force.
Now that's a...
All too often, the fast and the curious end up like this.
Damn.
Though these drivers survived, the videos all over the internet paint a dark picture. When a train hits a car, it's like a car hitting a soda can. Government statistics say trains collided with vehicles more than 2,000 times last year. Nearly 250 people killed, another 1,000 injured. Many involved freight trains.
Oh, damn!
Check out this car chase in Utah.
She's gonna hit a train.
Police couldn't stop this woman, but 8,000 tons of train did.
The train hit her.
Twice. Down in Houston, this daring driver makes a last-ditch attempt to cross. And in Florida, this frantic conductor does his best to stop, to no avail. The driver got out just in time.
Your heart starts beating as the engineer throws the train into emergency, and you just know there's going to be a collision. And you sit there wondering, why didn't you pay attention to the gates?
It's an obvious question, but before you lay the blame on clueless drivers, hit the brakes. Just ask Betsy Duvall.
The rear is just full of train tracks. Just full of them.
Still haunted by her accident. Though you'd never miss these tracks during daylight, at night, here's what Betsy saw. Lost and confused, she got stuck on a crossing in rural South Carolina. No idea that a train was barreling down on her. With only seconds to flee, she froze.
When I realized that there was just no way my car was going to make it off those tracks, I think I panicked and went into shock.
Betsy was gripped by what's called the freeze response, a natural reaction where a person under duress is literally paralyzed by fear. Thankfully, a nearby police officer jumped into action.
Man, come on, get back. Come on, get back.
He said, well, you need to get out now because there's no time. A train is on its way. All I could do was just turn and watch it hit my car and just shove it down the tracks. Just to think that in an instant my life could have been just taken without any warning.
And here in Tempe, Arizona, a train had just passed when Brandon Stovall started to drive across the tracks. He didn't see the second train coming.
It's just like if somebody were to walk next to your car and hit you with the baseball bat in the head.
He was cited for crossing before the arm was fully raised. But the real issue?
There was a sensor on the track that stopped working, which allowed the arms to raise up when a train was coming through the intersection and it should have been down.
A deadly yet common complaint. Gates should work like clockwork and stay down when trains are approaching. But Stovall has proof that doesn't always happen. Take a look at this video he shot 2 weeks later. Gates down, the train passes. But as soon as the gate raises again, get this, another train. Malfunctioning signals are one thing, but in other places, they're out of commission.
They've installed a set of gates and lights, but there's bags on top of the lights.
New lights that aren't activated?
And it's
unbelievable to Vicki and Denny Moore, who are determined to blow the whistle on faulty train crossings.
As you can see, you've got all this vegetation, all these trees blocking your driver's view. And you're not required to stop at this crossing. The only time
because it only says yield.
And our contention has always been, how can you yield to something that you can't see?
Which is exactly what happened to Vicki Moore's 17-year-old son Ryan, killed at this crossing, the second such death that month. The Moores were awarded $5 million from the train company, which later put up these barriers and new signals.
When you look at these tracks and you look at it today, it looks perfectly safe. I get angry. I get angry when I come here now and I see these gates. Why? Because had there been gates there the day that our kids came down that hill, the accident would never have happened.
Their millions went to a foundation, Angels on Track, which hopes to prevent other devastating train collisions. An uphill battle, given that only 35% of crossings have flashing lights and gates, according to the government.
I would think it's to the railroad company's advantage to have these things. I think they want these at every crossing.
Well, what they're thinking is they have to handle all maintenance on the
gates on the signal systems. They're making less money.
So are you saying the railroad companies would probably just as soon not have to have all of this?
Correct.
The railroads share ownership for every crossing in this country. Why aren't they sharing responsibility for making sure that all these crossings are safe and protected with gates?
A tangled web of bureaucracy that infuriates the Moors. So when there's a problem, who's to blame? The rail lines or the government? You may not like what this government-funded safety advocate has to say.
At every crossing, there's a blue and white sign, and it has a 1-800 number on it.
But if that gate malfunctioned and you were the one driving, it's kind of a little late to make a call.
No, it isn't. Get away from the car and then find a way to contact the railroad or your local police.
If you make it.
Yes, if you make it.
Ultimately, your safety is up to you. So drive carefully and look both ways so you don't end up like this.